you dearly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, go ahead, Blake. I'll let you.
Before we get started, I want everybody to know that may have started listening to this podcast for the first time, or maybe saw the title and were drawn into this episode for a hate listen or a real listen. Maybe so. I just want to say, nobody at Totally Biased endorses Kid Rock's actions. Okay, we're not endorsing the man. We're just simply talking about music and our opinions. We remove art from artists here, right? That's what we try to do. And
let's just hold on. Let's just pause. We're going back to 1998, so let's stop there. Okay, right? So Kid Rock in 1998 is a coming of age 27-year-old pompous artist at this time. All right, so let's start there.
Yeah.
Yes. I would say he hasn't changed much. I would say he hasn't changed much based on this album.
Yeah, I would say it's more about who he is now that we're saying we're not endorsing. There's a lot on the album I do endorse. There's a lot about bitches and weed and partying. I endorse all that. I'm just talking about nowadays stuff.
Yeah,
it's just a little different.
I feel like that goes without saying, though. I mean, but
it's a good thing to say it. Yeah, it's good to just get out ahead of it, in this day and age. Because our podcast is so huge, we don't want,
I'm not trying to let this
Anthony's faithful listeners.
Yeah, not all of us own our own business. You know what I mean, Anthony? Some of us have jobs with the man, and we have to be careful of that.
It's very true.
So,
very true.
All right.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's Totally Biased Music. It's Blake, Anthony, and Trey, and today we are reviewing Devil Without a Cause, which is a Kid Rock album. That was Anthony's pick. It was something that his dad did not want him listening to, or was it a show your dad didn't want you going? Or no. It was something your dad didn't want you
It's both of that. We'll get there. But definitely did not want me to listen to Kid Rock back in the day.
And then we actually pivoted on a movie we're talking about Disclosure Day, because we all saw Disclosure Day. And we all have some different opinions on it, so we're gonna talk about that later. But
very Goldilocks opinions, I feel like, for Disclosure Day.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not Goldilocks. Which one's the porridge? Where the porridge is one's really hot and cold, and one's the medium temperature. That's
Little
Goldilocks.
Red Riding Hood.
No, that's Goldilocks, right?
Yeah. It is Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Yeah, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So one of us really did not like Disclosure Day.
Gotcha.
Anthony really likes it, and then I'm kind of somewhere there in the middle.
Okay.
Sorry,
now
it was a stretch. That was a stretch. It was a stretch.
Okay. So Anthony, tell us a little bit about Devil Without a Cause. Give us a backstory.
So I'll go back to when I was 7 years old. All right. And if you asked me now, or really moving forward, like my first real memories of music, it would be in the car with my parents and hearing Ball with the Ball on the radio. That was my first ever, like, what is this? Not the fact I didn't have a clue of the lyrics that were laced in the song, but like just the energy that the song created. And it was something I could sing along to, really, so like I was really hooked at that point, and I didn't have any way to find out who the artist was or what the song was even. It took me probably 5 years, 6 years to find out what that song was even called, but once, Napster came around and LimeWire came around, then I finally got to get my hands on it. And I mean, the song from an energy standpoint still does what I wish it would. But like in the, like, so 7-year-old me, probably like second grade, maybe first grade, I don't know. But first introduction into music, and then coming around to about sixth grade, Anthony, Kid Rock is going to play in Pelham. And I begged for anything just to go to the show. And there were folks in my grade that I was going to go with my girlfriend at the time, go to the show with her family. It was all arranged, and my parents put the foot down. And I've never let them hear the end of it. And still, if they're listening right now, I'm still a little aggro about it, because realistically, that show from 2001 probably had all this kind of energy in it. And then Kid Rock got into a country phase, and he's more in a political phase now. I mean, but shit musically has definitely changed from this to whatever you want to call it now. And really had not a lot of interest in his music since then. But this album is a nice little time capsule, because this album put him on the map. I don't even think he had like 3 albums before this that are so subpar in quality. I don't think they're even available on Spotify or anywhere like publicly. just because this was the real coming out party. And yeah, I think production wise, it's super clean and a hell of a listen. Was this either of y'all's first time listening to it all the way through?
Yes. This was my first time ever lilistening to any song on it ever,
except for
not Cowboy, Ball with a Bob. Come on,
you heard.
I didn't recognize. I literally didn't recognize any of them.
Listened to Kid Rock before.
I genuinely am not even trying to like troll or be special. I don't remember. Like, I'm sure there were times where, but like, here's the thing: my dad wouldn't have listened to this type of music. I would have been too young if in the time when it was like popular and playing on the radio. Like, think about it, 2001. If that's when you were going to go to the concert, I was 6 at the time. So it's not like I would remember it. And then I literally don't recognize any of these songs. So it was definitely a first full listen through. But I want to say, shout out to your parents, because what if you had gone and it had transformed 6th grade Anthony? You'd become like a weird redneck. Like, what if you looked like him on the cover? I'm looking at the cover right now. Like, what if that became you? You know, no, I think they were protecting you.
I'm not typically pro parental censorship, but I gotta give a shout out to Roberto on this one. Like, probably not the best environment for a 6th grader to be in. You know,
I mean,
you gotta think about what a Kid Rock concert would have been like back then. You know,
epic, right? I mean, but like, so it turns out my first concert ended up being Papa Roach at the Crawfish Boil. I mean, like in a lineup. So there was and that show was totally insane. I mean, crowd surfing, high schoolers just letting it all hang. It was wild, you know, but like to have had this experience in 2001, it wouldn't have done, it wouldn't have, I'm not a poser. I'm not trying to cop someone's style, especially Kid Rock, right? But the reality is the shows that I'm most, that brings you back, doesn't it?
It does. I think that we should start naming the episodes from like a line that someone says, and this name of this episode should be. I know, but this one should be. I'm not a poser.
I'm not a poser.
Sorry, continue, Anthony.
Okay,
write that down.
I'm writing it down.
Thank you.
So, if you think about, like, y'all know me, and you know what shows I'm attracted to, right? I mean, high energy, heavy, moving crowds, right? I mean, this in the same lane as Limp Bizkit of the time, you know, where like you don't have to agree with everything the MC does or says on stage, but like there's a show and there's an experience to be had, and that was really what I was craving at the time. I ended up getting it, not Kid Rock, but like through other venues of music, you know, like that same type of atmosphere. But
wait, can I tell you? Can I tell you that when I first started listening to the album, for the first 3 songs, I was like, okay, so this is kind of like a redneck Limp Bizkit. I get it. Like, I kind of get this. And I was like, this could be cool. Like, I'm kind of on board. I really like Limp Bizkit. Like, I kind of get where he's going with this. But then I slowly started to realize, like, an hour and 11 minutes of redneck Limp Bizkit might be a little too much. Maybe like 51 minutes would have been like kind of perfect amount for me. So my rankings start off strong. And then it kind of devolves from there because I just lost the energy in the kind of, you know, shtick, I guess. But this album does gym. I listen to it in the gym. Should I agree?
Well, in this album too, it doesn't even truly stick to one genre. It bends in a couple different directions. You know, some of it's good, some of it's dog shit. But like, it's an interesting listen.
Yeah, there are albums from my youth that I have a nostalgia factor with that I now go back and listen to, and I'm like, I still really enjoy this, but I know that it's not of any form of quality. Like, for example, the Swayze self-titled album. Man, I love that. I love that album. It's a great, that album in my head is fantastic. But you know what? That album is not good music, straight up. It's just not.
Perfect example.
And Anthony, I think you look at this through some rose-tinted lenses of youth, maybe some clamoring for a show that you didn't get to go to. But this is not good for me. It was a tough listen. It was hard to get through. Now, Ball with the Ball, like, yeah, sure. Like, that song comes on, like, I'm ready to throw a Bud Light across a bar. Like, I get that. Like, it's got some energy. And you know, even Cowboy, like, those 2 songs that I was familiar with, I was like, yeah, I kind of enjoyed this. But everything else, for the most part, did not quite ride for me. especially that slow song where it was like when auto-tune had just been discovered, it seems like, which I have a feeling that's one when you said sounds like dog shit. I have a feeling you're probably referring to that. And like the story that he's telling is like kind of weird. At the end of the album, Black Chick, White Guy, that song is that guy's got some issues going on there. And that's how I know that Kid Rock is who he is today is who he's always been.
Well, here's one thing. Did you know that song is about him?
That doesn't necessarily make it better.
Yeah, I mean, but it gives it perspective. You know? I mean, half that song is talking about you don't know the half of it. That's literally the line in the song, right? I mean, there are layers.
He says the N-word in the song.
I don't know if he said. Oh yeah, he does. But like,
yeah, he does 100%.
I mean, but that's. I mean, I'm not. How do I say promoting that? I'm just saying, like, if you're talking about an experience that somebody had, I mean, that's all he's expressing. I don't condone the N-word, obviously, but like, I mean, there's sides to stories that like that's what this album is. It's a coming out party. He's telling you who he is.
It's not for me. I get it. Who he is not for me either. And like this is just like redneck rap. This is like everything that somebody that it represents everything I dislike in the world enjoys listening to for the most part. Like this album is just not an enjoyable thing for me. You know, so I mean, we're all gonna have our opinions.
Let's get right into it.
Let's hop into it. Let's start with Ba with the Ba.
Yeah, sickest intro song ever. Honestly, I mean, the way that they build the song with the FX intro into the kind of chant of itself. You know, this song even features a lot of you know, there's some older songs. I don't know the name of one of them, but it's more upbeat and it's really like and using that from, I don't know when it is, the 70s. There's another song from the 80s I think he samples and then curates it into this track, right? Like I said, for me, it was exactly what I wanted at the time. And this was this was in every pregame CD that I had in middle school and high school. You know, I mean, it never lost its energy. And I'd say it still doesn't lose its energy.
Definitely has energy. Definitely a in-your-face way to start off an album. Not a top or a bottom for me. I will say at least it set the tone properly. It was like I said, Redneck Limp Bizkit. I get it. Let's give it a shot. So yeah, it was fine. I'm telling you guys, like, really,
there's no way you've never heard this song.
I'm telling you, none of these songs jog my memory at all. Granted, my brain is fucking Swiss cheese, so that might be part of it. But like, I really don't remember any.
This song's still like being played in stadiums and stuff like to this day.
You think?
Yeah, for sure.
No, not to this day,
100%. This is like in that category of like Yeah by Usher and like, you know, the Hands Up song by T-Pain and all those songs. Like this is a stadium. It sounds like
something that would be on like NFL Street 2. Remember that game?
It probably was on an NFL.
I could have heard it from probably an old PlayStation game. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Trey?
Anyway, yeah, it's a good song. You know, definitely has that nostalgic factor. It's one of those like big hits. I also appreciate, you know, this is kind of in the era where like if there was a hit on the album, they would kind of start the album out with it. Like they would start the album out with a big single. So yes, sets part of the tone for the album, and yeah, I would say it's one of my top 3 songs.
Nice. All right, second track, Cowboy. I mean, these are the 2 biggest tracks on the album, but it does introduce this kind of, you know, country fusion, hip hop twang with some hard lyrics to it, right? Now, there's one part in Cowboy that really stuck out to me when I was young as well. So like you hear this song on the radio and there's a part in the song where he says, my only words of wisdom are, and then it's a voice and says radio edit, right? Like a censored part of the song. And, I mean, still, this was another one of those mysteries for me where I'm like, what the fuck is he saying? Because I can't find any versions that aren't edited with this radio edit, sample or whatever you want to call it. But it turns out it's just a part of the song. It's just a mind fuck, you know. But that may have got me started to dig into lyrics as a young kid. But it's a great song. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about like, I don't know what I was listening to the other day. They were talking about how like they don't do like, they used to do TV edits for movies. You know, like they would edit like lines and scenes in movies.
Or like Sandwich.
Yeah, or like Yippee-Ki-Yay. like in Die Hard, instead of yippee-ki-yay motherfucker, it's like yippee-ki-yay Mr. Falcon or something.
Yeah.
It's like something weird as fuck.
Yeah.
I was that made me think of that. This was one of my top songs. This is a really cool vibe. I like the vibe of this song. I like the instrumentation going on here. It's nice little, like, I don't know, there's like not a steel guitar going on here, but some type of not normal guitar. It's kind of just like I could picture, like, if I lived in like Galveston, Texas in 1998, I could picture sitting in a pickup truck and smoking illegal weed and listening to this, and I feel like that would have been a cool time. So I'm gonna give it one of my top spots.
Nice.
I like the song. I like, especially like the little guitar loop that kind of like builds throughout. It's pretty nice. I would give this one of my top songs as well. This is the last one that I'm like familiar with in any capacity. Everything else this was a first time listen. So also like just like the chorus, like it's just kind of an iconic little line from back in the day.
Okay.
I can smell a pig from a mile away. It's so good.
I think when I was a kid, I used to think he said, "I can spell pig from a mile away." Doesn't make any sense as a kid, right? Y'all have any lyrics like that stick out in your brain as a kid? You said them wrong the entire time, and it's just stuck with you. Oh, as an adult,
so many. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but there's a lot. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So next track is the title track, "Devil Without a Cause." Now that I'm realizing y'all are listening to tracks 3 through 14 for the first time, it's pretty interesting. I would encourage you to go back after this conversation, but Devil Without a Cause is like, it's a showcase track. You know, it starts off real gospel-y, like very, and then he spits into his line. You heard that I was coming when you heard. And that to me is an awesome way to kind of find your way into a track. The track's a banger, but it also has this kind of funk breakbeat to it. Towards the end, I'm sure this threw you guys off, but so there was a guy. So the band that's playing with Kid Rock is called Twisted Brown Trucker Band. Uncle Cracker is the DJ. There's a black female drummer. She's awesome. She's been with him for 30 years, I guess. And there was this little guy who would be with them. His name was Joe C. And he had this disease. I'm not sure the exact name of this disease, but he ended up passing away not long after this album came out. But like the verse on this song, "I'm Joe to the C ho." I know all the words,
like a kid.
But like, yeah, you know, I mean, he's tiny, right? But like had an attitude, and I love that verse. And you know, it sucks that he didn't get to live around longer, you know. But that's a fun verse that I've been singing to my dogs the past week, and they get really hyped up when that part comes on. So yeah, I love Devil Without a Cause. But what'd y'all think?
I had it as a top track. I think this beat is cool as fuck. I could take it without like really any of the lyrics, but it still kind of works with the beat. But I really just like whatever's going on with this beat. It's interesting to think of it under like the lens of 1998, because it almost doesn't. I mean, I guess it does kind of sound like a 1998-ish beat, but I don't know. I thought the beat was really cool, so I had it in there. Nice. Had it at the top.
Nice.
It sounds like a bad Red Hot Chili Peppers song kind of beat to me.
Sounds like a good Red Hot Chili Peppers song.
And then like you have Kid Rock's vocals and lyrics that are just interesting to say the least. It's not as bad as some of the other songs on the album, so it's not a bottom 3 for me, but it's not something I enjoyed.
What about the thought of Kid Rock saying, you know, I'm going platinum, and this album clearly, how many records this thing is beyond?
I'll look that up, Jamie.
I guarantee. I highly doubt that it went platinum.
I'll say double platinum.
Its most streamed song only has 185,000.
This is
streams.
Spotify. Get the fuck out of here. We're talking physical.
It was Trey. It was certified diamond by the RAAA. It sold
crazy.
over 11 million copies in the United States, 14 million copies worldwide.
That's insanity.
And
he called his shot.
Yeah, I mean, like there comes a time where, I mean, if it's selling, you know, I mean, there's one thing I think about Kid Rock, you know, is like the artist in him, I think, like faded so quickly when the fame came. I think he was in it for the fame, you know, and I think that's clear to this day, right? but
Mhm.
but this album in itself is a time capsule, you know, and I think it attracted with how many is a diamond? Like how many do you
So
have to sell?
Diamond's 10 million.
10 million.
Yeah. So he
Pretty
sold
legit.
11 million in the US.
All right, so the next track, it's called "I Am the Bull God." I'm not a huge fan of this song, but I do like the way how do I describe this? Like, there's a really long drone, you know, "I am the Bull God," but there's a part where he's like, "And I'm tripping," and then the instrumentals will kind of play out. I like that, but this is not one of my favorite tracks.
First off, I Am the Bull God, Trey, love him or hate him, fire title for a song. It's a fire title for a song.
It is a good title.
I think it's cool. The song is utter dog shit. It sounds like they told the drummer to play drums like a half second behind the rest of the instruments in this song. I don't know what the fuck is going on with that. And I really hated the instrumentation and the chorus. I just did not like the song. I thought it was so bad, which really disappointed me because I really liked the title.
It is a good title. I gotta say the chorus takes up time away from Kid Rock rapping, and so for that I do say thank you, and I enjoy that part. Also got to shout out the lyrics. I'm in a band of gypsies. We're on the run every time that paper hits my tongue. So, you know, it sounds like he's referring to taking some acid. I have a feeling Kid Rock is a guy who pretended to take acid and never actually consumed LSD 25. But, you know,
I would absolutely
seems like more
agree
of
with that, Trey.
He seems like more of a meth guy to me, or, you know, Adderall, or a lot of it. You know, so you would agree with that Kid Rock's ever taken LSD?
100%. You know,
yeah.
I mean,
so
or
this
at
is
least
a little
not taking
cultural
it in the right
appropriation
setting.
here from my culture. So for that, I'm the Bulldog. It's not a top for me because there's still worse to come, but it's a medium.
I think that he takes it now. I think I think he had a reverse epiphany and went from being a being a liberal that he took acid and became a huge MAGA guy. That's my theory. I think he takes it now.
Maybe.
I don't think acid would ever do that to you. You know what I mean? Unless you're just stuck in the echo chamber, which very well could be. All right. Anything else on that track you want to mention?
No.
All right. So the next one is called "Roving Gangster." In parentheses, it's got Rollin' on there. Now, it should be noted, this was before Limp Bizkit, or at least before Chocolate Starfish. But
whoa, are we sure about all that?
I think Limp Bizkit, Hot Dogs, Chocolate Starfish, and Hot Flavor Water is 2001. Quote me on this.
Let's fact check this. So this was 1998. Significant Other came out in 1999. Damn, that's true. That's kind of crazy.
When is Chocolate Starfish?
Chocolate Starfish is after. Oh no, yeah, it's 2000.
2000. Gotcha. I think both of those albums, or Chocolate Starfish and this one, if you had instrumental versions of these albums, I think everyone you would resonate with it more, just with blocking out the vocals. But Roving Gangster, I don't really like this track. It starts off him snorting coke, I think, or just just snorting something. But has a decent flow, but nothing really to write home about. Not a huge fan.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't have it as a top or bottom. I just kind of had it as a there, which I guess I don't know. It was very Limp Bizkit-esque. Like it was tolerable to me because I like Limp Bizkit a lot. And like I said, if you look at it through the lens of like this is a redneck or a bad Limp Bizkit, it kind of makes it a little more tolerable for me. So I didn't have it as a bottom. I just had it as a kind of there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this also is not great. I did learn a fun fact that when he was 19, he was touring with Ice Cube. I think it's kind of weird that he describes that as the old school. When you think about it, it was only like 7 years before this song came out, and that's actually the gripe that I have with the next song after this. It's not the next song. The song after that about "Welcome to the Party," ode to the old school. It's like there wasn't even old school rap in 1998. Rap had only been around for
10 years?
10 years. Like any
10,
good? Yeah. So like what old school are we talking about? We're talking about just like a couple years ago. That'd be like us being like, oh yeah, back in the old school, like Mac Miller. But if you called yourself the new school or the newcomer,
how would you refer back? The
I mean,
OGs?
Yeah, I guess there just really hasn't been enough time there to like refer back. Like you're kind of all part
I'd
of the
be like
same wave.
the seniors. I am the freshman. That's what I would say.
Right. Yeah. I don't really know. But anyway, yeah, this song did not jump out to me.
All right. Well, the next one, Wasting Time. Easy, man. I think hook this bitch up with something. So Wasting Time is a big departure from the first 5 tracks of the album. You know, this is very much the campfire with your buddies, drinking and smoking, just fucking getting sloshed together. You know, the vocalist, Loretta Davis, she's like a Detroit legend, I think, who got to feature on this track. And yeah, I mean, it's just super fun. This song is fun for me. You could play this song to people now and they'd be like, wait, this is Kid Rock? What are you talking about? What'd y'all think?
I'll go first on this one. I like this song a lot.
Thank
it's a lot
you.
of fun.
Thank you.
Reminds me of hanging out at the lake, you know,
Yeah.
like sitting around. I did. This is the one song I would say I genuinely enjoyed. This is my top track. It has a good vibe.
Hell yeah.
You know, her little vocals are nice, you know, like I like the idea of drinking and thinking and smoking, trying to free my mind, you know. I think me and Kid Rock are smoking 2 different things, but nonetheless, yeah, I really like this song. It's easy, laid back. It's a vibe.
Yeah.
I really like the chorus and the instrumentation, but he's rapping like that one Will Smith Family Guy bit where they're making fun of the way that Will Smith raps, which I will send you guys
I remember
later.
that bit.
That's exactly how he's rapping, and it fucking like I hate his flow, if you even want to call it a flow in this song. So it's a bottom track for me. I do not like the song at fucking all.
You don't like the vocals of this song?
Yeah,
You don't like her vocals?
I
you
like
tell me you
hers.
wouldn't crank a tall boy by the lake with me listening to songs?
I would
just
definitely
have
drink
to
a
set it.
Budweiser to this, but I would set it down when he was rapping, and I would pick
That's
it up
fair.
when
Pick it
she
back
was
up.
singing.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah, I was
fair
about to say,
enough,
as soon
fair
as the
enough.
chorus hits, Blake's like, oh, I'm just
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
all right, so number 7 is the Welcome to the Party, Ode to the Old School. So in my opinion, this track like the front half of this track features what you would call, I don't know, 80s hip hop, right? It has an older feel to it compared to the last half of this song. You know, the way that Kid Rock raps in the first part is that kind of beat bop kind of, I don't know, jive rap. I don't know how you want to call it. The Fresh Prince type of rap. Then the last half is more what he's bringing to the table in this time period, you know? So there it feels like a time shift within this song. It's got some funk to it, but it's not one of my favorite songs, but it's an interest. I wrote, you know, it's the evolution of the MC. That's what I wrote next to this track. If you listen to it with that lens, I think you'll gain a different insight into the track, but it's nothing crazy. But I do find that part really interesting.
Yeah, I think like under that lens, it makes it a little bit cooler. But I don't really have a strong opinion on it. Like, I don't think it's great. I would not come back to it, but I don't know. I didn't have it as a bottom. But this is the point in the album where I started to get kind of tired of this everything. So it gets kind of downhill for me here from here. But it's not terrible. It's tolerable.
Yeah, I mean, his like rhyme scheme in this is like pretty simple, but kind of from the lens that you're talking about there, Anthony, like it is kind of different that he like changes it up halfway through if I'm trying to find something kind of positive about it. Also like the beat's kind of nice, but I'm kind of close with you, Blake. At this point, I was kind of struggling to get through like the similar like rap beat type stuff. So
I had to, at this point, I had to divide it up into chunks. I had to listen.
Mhm.
I had to do 3 track chunks to get through it. Like 3 tracks of this, and then I'd go listen to something else, and then I'd come back. And, yeah,
I didn't do that necessarily, but
Well,
Trey
for
just
future
suffered
reference,
through it.
like if it helps you do that, you know, rather than just, oh gosh, I got to power through. I've done albums before where I had to listen to like 2 tracks a day, you know. But I'll say
to
this about-
justice.
yeah, yes, that may have been 1 track a day, like a whole just week, 2 weeks of just gosh. But so I'll say this about Welcome to the Party, like the first 10 seconds is a sick little intro sample that could be cut and paste anywhere. You know, the very beginning where it ain't nothing but a, you know, It would
True.
be sick.
Mhm.
It would be
I
sick.
can see that.
So the next track is I Got One For You. This one's real funky. It has a sick keys are being played throughout this song, and he's doing it in reverse. So I've mentioned in the past, a lot of songs that we listen to where rappers are rapping like to the sample or from the sample. I forget. But he's doing that in this song to where the I Got One For You is the sample, and he really builds and lets it go. I really enjoy that. But yeah, so a lot of keys and some funkiness on this one. But your flavor?
It's definitely a head bobber. I like the bass line in it. I don't the point at like 40 seconds in where the guitar comes in, it like kind of takes me out of it. It's like I was in a groove, then it kind of jars me out of it. So not a huge fan, but I do really love the bass line. I love the scratching in the background. That part's cool. Like I said, like I could really get with this as an instrumental album. I wonder if that's out there. I bet it is.
Sure, you can make it yourself at this point.
Yeah, that's where I'm feeling it.
Gotcha.
Just ask our good friend Claude. This also has like kind of a New Orleans flair for me, especially like the keys. I kind of like that, like jazz influence. I think the beat is kind of nice. I don't even hate when he like does the tin can talking kind of like rap thing. It's not that bad. Now when he uses his actual voice, that's why it kind of falls off for me. But not a bottom track, not a top track. I've gone through my top tracks at this point.
Fair.
I'm
Gotcha.
just keeping the tally.
Nice. All right. So the next track is called Somebody's Gotta Feel This. Now I first heard this song on a PlayStation 1 game. It was a motorcycle game where you're driving the motorcycle and someone else is driving and you're fucking them up, And the game, it was Road Rash 3D. For the record, awesome game.
Interesting.
But so this song was on that soundtrack, and it would play like that game. The music would play during the action of the game, not just like at a menu or anything like that. And I remember this track being so much harder than it is on this album. So maybe my brain's playing tricks on me from back in the day. It's not a terrible song, but nothing compared to the ones that I really like.
This is so PlayStation 1 motorcycle game coded. It's like he wrote exactly it for a PlayStation 1
maybe.
Yeah, I'm kind of on bottom tracks from here on out, I'll be honest. It's fine. Like, I feel like if I were to ever go back and revisit this, which I'm not promising you I will, Anthony, but what I'll do is I'll start from 7 and go down through 12. Because then maybe it was the fact that I was like, all right, I've had enough of Kid Rock now, that it made me want to like tune out. Because I could maybe see it working a little bit better if I was just taking it, in smaller doses or something to that degree. So yeah, I mean, it's
The guitar riff is punchy. I like that part. I like the punchy guitar riff. I can see that being very enjoyable while you're driving a motorcycle. I think a lot of people who listen to this probably really enjoy dirt bikes.
Fuck yeah.
Dirt bikes are cool, man.
They are.
Yes, I like the guitar riff. It's kind of Rage Against the Machine-y a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you think they would agree with you on that take?
I don't think Tom Morello would enjoy hearing that, no.
All right. Well, the next track, "Fist of Rage." I wrote next to this. I wrote next to this track. It has Zeppelin-like guitar riffs, so that would be interesting to go back and listen to "Fist of Rage" with Zeppelin in mind, because I think you'll get a lot of vibes from that. And I mean, it goes without saying, but like Kid Rock's not playing the instruments on this album. It's a full band behind him.
First off, the screaming of "I'm a Fist of Rage" sounds. This song to me sounds Rage Against the Machine. It's his vocals in particular, what he's doing with his vocals when he's doing the screaming of the chorus. That sounds very Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, I can see that.
Which is an attempt at being cool, so I could get with that. But yeah, again, just
I'd have to re-listen to hear for the Led Zeppelin thing. Not hearing it right now. Not saying it doesn't exist, but
yeah,
it also like it's the hip hop beat also would probably throw me off from making that comparison.
And his vocals, there's so many layers you have to really kind of fade it out and focus on it. All right.
What was the category for this album one more time? I'm sorry to cut you off.
Stuff my dad or my parents wouldn't let me listen to.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. You get what you asked for. All right. Next track, Only God Knows Why. I hate this song. This is his attempt at a ballad, and really, I don't enjoy any of Kid Rock's ballads. I enjoy Sheryl Crow more than Kid Rock.
I like I like Picture. I like that song. I will say that I enjoy that song.
But Sheryl Crow makes it. Like her,
right,
she compliments it. She makes it. He does that song.
And also,
solo.
the lyrics are great, and he didn't write that.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this is Kid Rock's auto-tuned alien voice. No moss for me.
This song is utter dog shit. Especially I really think this was right when they were starting to figure out that they could use auto-tune, and so they didn't really know how to use it, and so it like modulates at these really interesting times when he's singing. This is pretty awful. This is my bottom. This is my most bottomest. Well, my second most bottomest track.
It sounds like the iPhone auto tune. Remember that?
Yes.
Remember iPhone auto tune? That's what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this shit is fucking. This is getting the Blake stamp of turbo ass. This shit is fucking turbo ass, dude. Hell nah. Don't ever do this shit again, Kid Rock. All right.
Yeah.
On to the next one.
Only he does it for the next 5 albums, really.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
nice.
That's another gripe I have. All right. So number 12 is Fuck Off. Now, Blake, I brought this. This was a thought I had when picking this album too. Was that there's a gem in here for you to find. But turns out Kid Rock and Eminem were in the same building. I guess he was recording the Slim Shady LP while he was doing this, so he got Eminem to feature on it. Eminem's verse in this is sick, and I don't know. Did you know this was coming, or what do you think? What do you think about this? It's very distorted and it'll jar you.
I need to. I don't know, man. Like this is.
Wow.
I don't have it as a top track because I just want to pretend this didn't happen, and I really want to know because they're both. Isn't he from Detroit? Isn't Kid Rock from Detroit? Yeah. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I don't know like enough about the history of Eminem and Kid Rock and how he feels about him now, or if he's ever spoken on it at all, or like if they ever. I don't know. Here's the thing. 1998, Eminem was taking what he could get. And this was before the Slim Shady LP. This was before he got famous. And so this makes sense that he's on it, but that doesn't make me like it. And yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it. This album or this verse is very Kid Rock album coded. So yeah, we'll leave it at that.
He sounds so angry. Why is he so
angry? He was.
Yeah. Dude, that's the whole thing is like they both were in their own kind of shtick at this time, balls in, like all the way,
He also is like, this is the era of Eminem where it was like when there's this guy that makes videos, it's like, oh, you're listening to Eminem, your sleep paralysis demon is Eminem in 1999 rapping, and it's like, that style of rap worked for the Slim Shady LP, but I'm glad he didn't do it ever again after the fact. So yeah.
I think I read somewhere that like they think that Eminem's verse on this was going to be used for the Slim Shady LP, but then he used it here or something along those lines.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Why is he not featured on here?
That's interesting. I don't know why.
I asked him to take it off.
That ain't me, baby.
I mean, here's the thing: if you went from '98 to 2003, and you followed Kid Rock and Eminem, all right, you've got similar trajectories, similar personas, similar like public perception, right? On both of them.
That's true.
I mean,
the public perception parts, Eminem to a bigger degree, like people really, moms against Eminem, that was like a thing.
Yeah.
People really hated
he's
him.
on stage with a chainsaw and a Jason mask, So, I mean, like, you have to just see it for the times that it was, right? And, I mean, Eminem's verse is sick, Tell the world to hold their breath. They breathe in the wrong air,
Yeah.
The city belongs to me and this hippie with long hair.
Yeah.
It goes. Give me 2 rooms because I'm fucking the first one. But anyway, we'll go to 13, and I hate this track. Is simply for the dial, like the concept, the dial tone is so fucking piercing that like I found this song. This came from the LimeWire Napster times, and I honestly didn't even believe it was a real piece of a project. I thought it was just some file that was out on the internet. But yeah, I utterly dislike this song for all that it is. Truthfully,
Yeah, it's
even the last half where it gets musical.
It's super annoying. I agree.
Yeah, I also
annoying.
agree.
Yeah.
It's at this point in the album, I'm like, okay, we need to wrap this up. But don't worry, because we have a 12-minute long song coming next.
Yeah.
So Anthony, what do you think about Black Chick White Guy / I Am the Bull God?
Yeah, well, here's the thing, is that on the vinyl, it's just Black Chick White Guy, and it ends around 7 minutes. This is a hidden track on a CD that's now on Spotify. This I Am the Bull God reprised, remix, whatever you want to call it. So, like, that jades your experience on the front end without knowing that. But here's the thing about Black Chick White Guy is that it's a story, and I see it just for that, is that it's a story and somebody's telling a story. And it's digestible. The story itself is, I mean, it was the first time that I could hear somebody sharing their experience. I mean, the rest of this album is a lot of pompous, look at me, I'm Kid Rock, right? But this song at least has some emotions in it and some real tangible experience that somebody went through, that he went through. But I could see how it could turn people off just from the title itself,
Yeah, I mean, it is a story, but like just being a story doesn't necessarily give it like any sort of validity in my mind. Like, even if it really happened, like it's still just like it's still him being really pompous and being like, my girl went and got with a drug dealer. Like, he drops the N-word. Like, the song's just so bad for me.
Not all stories need to be told.
Not all stories need to be told, and especially just from his perspective. Like, his whole thing, his dick was metal, her pussy was a magnet. Like, that's a line in here.
2 weeks later, got pregnant. I mean,
yeah,
these are things that are, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
it's just not a story that I want to hear, and it's not a perspective that I necessarily want to like give a credence to. But it is a story. So
yeah, I mean, it's a fucked up story. I mean, let's not beat around it. It is a fucked up story, right? But I mean, fucked up stories need to be told, I feel. I mean, if anything, you get from this experience, damn, I don't want to go through that, right? Or whatever you want to pull from it. But I mean, I'm glad it's there. I mean, that's how I feel.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of with Travis. I think it's pretty awful. And I think as a white guy with a black chick, it's double offensive for me. So that's a hard fucking dies for me. So yeah.
As soon as I saw the title of the song, I was like, Blake's got a bar for this at some point.
Yeah. I mean, I figured it was coming too, but like,
yeah.
All right. Well, what do we rate it? I don't want Trey to start. Anthony, you start, because I'm actually interested to hear what your rating is nowadays. Re-listening, not nostalgia factor rating. What is you listen to it? I want to know what your rating.
I also want to know. I'm very curious.
But like, how do you want me to rate it? I mean, like, how would this album do in 2026?
No,
I want more so how much do you enjoy it in 2026?
I give it an 8 out of 10. Because I enjoy this album. I mean, this album is a comfort album for me, because if I need to go and release something, I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play Disturbed. I'm gonna play Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water. Like, there are go-to albums for me that I can go to and see past all the misogyny and all the bigotry and all the hatred that could be in this album. Because clearly I don't think that way. I mean, that's like saying you can go and watch a fucked up movie and a serial murder movie and not go out and kill people. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be able to differentiate. But I get a lot out of this album.
I think that's totally fair as far as like what you get out of it, what it means to you, especially because if it's a nostalgia thing and like it's something that provides you, some form of release. I don't have that nostalgia with this, so I'm listening to this for the first time for the most part, other than those first 2 songs. It gets a 1 from me because I do like those first 2 songs.
All right, I'm gonna give it a 3.5. A 3.5. Final answer.
So now we're Tame Impala.
Got any ratings, Blake? Any Rolling Stones? Any?
Oh, I'm curious about that.
Let's see what the world
I
thinks.
thought we all agreed to stop doing this, and every episode we continue to do it.
It's just
this is worth bringing out.
Interesting. This was, yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, hang on. Rolling Stone.
You know, there's no Pitchfork review.
Devil. Oh, I'm sure there is, and I'm sure it's scathing for all the wrong reasons. Let's see. There is not a Rolling Stone review. Okay.
Interesting.
Let's try Pitchfork. And there's also. Oh wait. Pitchfork gave it a 1.3 out of 10. Trey and Pitchfork agreed.
Lineup. What did Rolling Stone do?
There wasn't a review.
Oh, okay.
Which is interesting. All right. That was Devil Without a Cause. We made it through.
Anthony, it hurt me to shit on something that I knew you loved.
Yeah, it should. It should.
I know. It has no meaning on, I am upset that you went seasick. I did not take joy. I took no pleasure in this. Literally
Trey,
half of the album.
Did he apologize to us for the way he treated Justice, knowing I wasn't here Justice?
When that happened? But you did hurt my feelings. You were seasick the other day, and you didn't come by and say hey to me at High Dive. So I'm taking some of that anger.
How'd you know I was at seasick?
Because you posted that you restocked your albums there.
Oh, I did, yeah. Well, I did go to the marina and stood there for about 20 minutes watching, taking notes, like seeing.
I was inside that bar.
Too easy. Yeah.
I was inside that bar the whole time.
Darn.
Uh-huh.
I will check next time.
Yep. Uh-huh. So, should come up.
Well, the first time I went, they kicked me. They wouldn't let me in the building because they were doing a live podcast or something.
We're working on that.
So, I'll try again.
Anyway. All right. Let's do Rides or Dies. I'm leading us off because I'm going through a Fall Out Boy phase right now. This happens about once a year for me.
It does.
A lot of Fall Out Boy songs I like, from Under the Cork Tree all the way through Folie à Deux. Maybe what's after Folie à Deux is the album with Thanks for the Memories. Is that after or before?
I think it's before, because
let me scroll. So Save Rock and Roll is where it gets bad, or Believers Never Die. Okay, yeah. So Folie à Deux is the last good one. And then everything before that, so many bangers. Infinity on High, From Under the Cork Tree, all that stuff. A lot of great Fall Out Boy music. So I go through a phase once a year. I get really into them. But Folie à Deux has a bunch of good songs. This is my favorite. It's called What a Catch. Wait, did I send you What a Catch Donnie or American Sweethearts? I don't remember.
What a Catch Donnie.
Yeah. What a Catch Donnie, because American Sweethearts is my other favorite from this album. I fucking love the song. I also love the lyric. They say the captain goes down with the ship, so when the world ends, will God go down with it? It sounds like something Socrates would say, and then you find out it's from a Fall Out Boy album. So I think that's really inspiring. So yeah, I fucking love this song. What do you guys think about it? What do you think about Fall Out Boy in general? Before you tell me about the song,
I love Fall Out Boy. I have this.
Yeah.
I had this on CD. I love this song too. This is actually probably one of my favorite songs on this album. This and Tiffany Blows. Man, I love this song. Thank you for sending this in. I'm definitely going to listen to the whole album, when I have a little bit more time down the road.
Hell yeah.
Hard rides for me.
Nice.
All right.
Anthony?
So, Trey, as much as this hurts me, I'm not a huge Fall Out Boy fan. I honestly never have been, honestly. But I want to ask about this song because when I was listening to it towards the end, I was like hearing lines from Fall Out Boy songs that I've heard of, but obviously these aren't those songs. Like towards the end, they use like, what is up with that? Like it's like a greatest hits chorus of.
It's like a compilation. It's just like it's kind of like in the background. It's always just like a callback. Because there's Sugar Going Down Swinging in there. There's
Thanks for the Memories. This ain't a
Thanks for the Memories. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in there. I love that part.
I mean, that's so interesting though, because it's not like on the front end of the sound that you're hearing. It is kind of layered in the background. But I was just curious: was there any does this album, the Folie à Deux album, does it have that kind of nostalgia or? I don't know how to describe it.
This is the only song where it does it. I don't know why, but I love that. It's like 40 seconds at the end where they're doing it. I find it so cool. Just the layering of all their really popular songs.
Yeah.
I love that part.
Yeah. So I'll say I'll give it a ride for that concept. because I've never seen that concept before, where it's literally like pulling from 5 or 6 of their other tracks and blending it into this one pretty seamlessly. So yeah, it rides for me.
I got to use my French a little bit, although this title doesn't make sense to me, so I have a feeling it means something else. Because folie à deux means, so folie is madness, à deux. So I'm guessing it means madness for 2, but things don't translate directly, so I don't know. You can go to the next song.
It is that interpretation. I think is correct, at least from
madness,
Joker.
Madness of 2.
Yeah, because Joker
folie à deux.
I never saw that.
Bring it up. I'll talk about it. Blake wants to talk about it too. I know he needs to.
I don't see musicals ever, so I'll never go see it.
I love it.
All right, Trey, what do you got?
Well, let's let Anthony go first because I got a long thing that's going to lead into other things.
Okay. So I brought a track called Paper Hearts by an artist called The Flash Bulb. I have not brought The Flash Bulb to the podcast yet, and I want to, but this song just came out, I think like yesterday or 2 days ago, and it's the first lo-fi track I've heard him produce. This guy, his name is Ben Jordan, and actually Jalen showed me The Flash Bulb, and I was like blown away. I was like, wow, have I not heard about this guy? He's from Georgia. He's right there. He does a lot of technical electronic music. It really goes across all genres, but this one is really nice, and it's always good to hear a lo-fi track. My dogs have been loving lo-fi here recently. So what y'all think?
You know that I'm a big lo-fi hip-hop beats to study / relax to guy. This was perfect. I was like, did he rip this from that playlist? It was such a vibe.
Did you study / relax to it?
I worked, but that's kind of like studying, and I let it ride a few times. I restarted it a few times. Hard rides. Always down for lo-fi music.
Yeah, this is a hard ride. I'd love to play it on the sound system at High Dive Beham. If you ever want to come by, happy to play it for you if you're ever there. But that actually was my first thought. I was like, I'm playing this at work tomorrow. Or whenever I go in. Yeah, it sounds great. It's a vibe.
Yeah. And I'm
surprised I didn't click into him, but it's surprising that he doesn't already. He doesn't produce lo-fi music in general.
No, he is one of the few I'll categorize as like a super producer. Like he can make any music that he really wants to make, you know, and he's really been diving in recently on social media talking about like security cameras and how security cameras can be hacked. He's a really interesting guy. But pro tip on lo-fi, if you leave your dogs at home, play YouTube Lo-Fi Girl, dismiss the settings where it will repeat, and it is the best vibe for them, truthfully.
That's good to know, actually.
Good to know. This wafer's been lonely. All right, the song that I brought is Understand Me Now by Pretty Lights, and the reason that I brought this song is not a positive one. It's actually quite a sad one. Yesterday, some news has been dropped that Laser Shark, a.k.a. Greg Ellis, is leaving the Pretty Lights project after 17 years. The one stalwart in all of the change that has happened throughout the PL universe is gone, and it is a huge, massive blow to the project, and there is no understating that. Not only was Greg the best lighting designer, second best lighting designer in the world besides CK5, but he also was just like kind of almost like the grand wizard guiding like the community and the fan base through a lot of different things. So it really fucking sucks. I'm super bummed about it. Also just found out earlier that Chris Carnes is also leaving the project. He like has deleted a bunch of posts and like took PL out of his bio and unfollowed him and all that kind of stuff. So no official announcement on that yet, but that will be coming, I assume, down the pipes relatively soon. So from climbing back to the highest mountains, it seems like we are now at the lowest peaks once again with Pretty Lights, which is, you know, it upsets me how much it upsets me, but it is what it is. Understand Me Now is one of Greg's favorite songs to do lights to. So what do y'all think of Understand Me Now by Pretty Lights, and also just the shit show that this place has become again?
Well, here's the thing. Like, you had a very long hiatus. You never thought he'd come back. He came back. He had a great run. You went to a bunch of shows. Like, what are you sad about, man? It's okay.
No, it's
thank
okay.
You, Blake. Thank you.
No,
I don't know.
It's just like, one of those deals where it's like you got to the top again, and now you got to go back down to the bottom. It's like it feels like it's really, you know, it's really Jover this time. I mean, I'm happy because it jappened, but you know, I'm sad because it's Jover.
I'm gonna say something that is gonna hurt to hear, Trey, but I have to say
I know. I already know what you're going to say. It's like it's time.
It's not that. I'm just going to say everything comes to an end. Like
Oh, yeah.
eventually everything comes to an end. And it's
That's very true.
sometimes it's on your own terms, sometimes it's on others' terms, but like, you know, it's I get what you're feeling. I remember a very similar feeling that was sprung on me, you know, but I never got a second wave, you know, and you got to relish in that and enjoy that.
That is a very fair perspective.
And if it's over, if it's actually over and it's over, then you guys had a great run, you know. And look, there's plenty of other bands. Fish is still there. Fish is still there.
Fish still exist.
With all that being said, I'm not giving in to your ploy for sympathy. I'm giving this a dies, and I'll tell you why. This is a cop-out. Trey, you told me that you can't bring songs that you know are automatic rides. Like, as soon as you sent it, I said, I don't care what story this guy is about to pitch to me. I don't care what the song is. I listened to the song. It was great, but it dies. It's a dies.
That's fair. That's fair. That's my own news.
Yeah, I respect that so much because I had that thought initially, too. I was like, well, wait a second. I remember us having that conversation of questionable tracks, not definite tracks. But I'm going to say this song definitely rides. I have too much emotional attachment to it to do that to myself or to the song. But here are my thoughts on the Pretty Lights project. It's like it's something new is around the corner. Whatever it is, whatever it's going to be different. And I think that is going to hurt some people. It's going to scare some people. It's going to excite some people. But like the way I see it is let's just see what he does. I mean, I've kind of felt that way about Derek ever since the Joy Theater analog show is let's just see what he does. Really, at this point, I don't have any expectations, right? And if it means new musicians in the lineup, I mean, I hated the fact when Adam Deitch left the band. You know, I'm like, oh,
right.
God damn it, right? But like, let artists be artists, and who knows what is to happen in the future. But like, I just hope from Chris Karn's standpoint that it's on good terms. You know, I don't know.
Seems like it probably heard about that. Seems like it probably is not.
Yeah.
Considering the steps that have been taken, but also like I learned that like an hour ago. So
Trey, who was the other turntablist with Mux Mool? That was who was in New Orleans.
Yeah, that guy's not around anymore.
No. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah. The thing is, like, Greg has always been like, it's like, yeah, sure, things change or whatever, but the fact of the matter is, like, you know, the lights are going to be dope, and like, you know, that part of things is going to be like really solid. So, you know, it is what it is. You're right. Change is inevitable. And, you know, maybe it's time for us to take a step back from being so emotionally attached to a band that we've been following since we were 16 years old. There's a lot of different feelings going on, you know, brothers.
It happens.
Anyway,
I'm going to bring Change is going to come next week for my Rides or Die.
There you go. So movie, we're doing
Disclosure Day. Yeah.
So it was my movie pick. My original pick was it's changed several times. Yeah. Empire Strikes Back. Then we found out we'd already done that. So then we did Lion King, and then we all were talking about Disclosure Day. I went and saw it with my dad. Me and my dad have kind of started going to a movie about once every 2 weeks on Tuesdays or Wednesdays when we got the little 50% off thing. We're probably going to do the AMC pass. It seems like it makes sense. But I thought this movie was very interesting. I thought the plot was like pretty unique. The whole like dyad thing with the man and the woman like being like two parts of a whole or whatever was cool. There were some like holes for me as far as like when the boy had got taken. Like I didn't feel like that was explained super well. Like because he started getting his powers, let's just call them powers, when he was like in college, right? So, but he was like taken as a child, and they like revealed themselves to him at a later point. So that was like a big issue for me, which it could have been something I just like missed or misunderstood. But I thought visually it was really cool. Like all the practical effects were sick. Like, you know, kind of your classic Spielberg shots with some of the lighting and whatnot was dope. I thought it was about 30 minutes too long. But yeah, those are my kind of initial thoughts on Disclosure Day. What did y'all think?
I will say this. I'll start with the good. You know what? I'm going to start positive. I'll start with the good. The ending scene was phenomenal. The last 10 minutes of the movie are phenomenal. And I will not deny that. I will give Steven Spielberg his credit. It's a great sequence. The news clips, the news happenings, the final broadcast, all that stuff. Very fucking cool. I loved this. This shows that Steven Spielberg can still do it if he wants to. He didn't do it in this movie. But the scene with the nun where the girl calls the nun and is talking about it. And this is a big thing with religion and aliens. This is a big theme amongst religious leaders of this will change everything about religion. This will make everybody question it. And the nun is basically like, that's not true. Like, she basically just tells her like that doesn't matter. Like, God
Says we're the
says
most
that
divine
we're
things on earth.
on
not-
Earth, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
And I thought that scene was so cool. I thought it was such an interesting perspective for him to put in there. But this is my problem, man. This Deus Ex Machina tool, alien tool that he uses, this alien tool that it is never explained how it comes into people's possession, which is my first issue. The second issue is you can use it to telepathically communicate. You can use it to possess people. You can use it to turn people invisible. You can use it to turn lights on. Any plot hole you can think of, this tool will fix. And it was used as a way
that's a fair critique.
Fix any plot hole that I can't figure out how to write my way out of. I have the alien tool that we inexplicably obtained. That part bothered the absolute shit out of me. And the last gripe I have, there's a rule of threes in movies, okay? So he possesses the girl a first time. She grabs her hand and gets out of it. He does it again. She digs the knife deeper or whatever she does. He does it a third time. I can't remember how she gets out of it. And then he does it a fourth time when they get captured. And at that point, I got up and got a beer because I was like, if we're just going to do this the whole fucking movie to get us out of things or to get us into things, I'm not interested in doing this. And this is what I'll say. This was my review. I want to read you guys my Letterboxd review. I told Anthony not to read it. Trey, I know you're not on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
But I think I already gave you guys a hint of what it was. But I said, Steven Spielberg directing Disclosure Day is a lot like Michael Jordan on the Wizards. It makes you think that their success has less to do with their skill and more about the era in which they came from. And that's how I feel about Steven Spielberg and Disclosure. That's my final rant. Anthony?
Right. So if I'm understanding right, like the biggest holdup is the understanding of this tool. Like, and like, I guess my question is, how many answers do you really need? Right? I mean, I'll say this, my one gripe about the tool, I don't care to know everything it can do because we're finding out in real time all the different things it can do. Right? But my one issue is at the very beginning when they introduced the tool, it seems like if you touch it or it's very fragile, like you can't add pressure to it. But then there are points in the movie where it just falls on the ground. You know, that to me is something where I'm like, okay, that throws me off. Right. But the reality of this movie, it gave me so many flashbacks to a movie I had seen when I was younger. It's a movie called Escape to Witch Mountain. Have y'all seen this movie or heard about this movie?
No.
There was a version that came out in 1975, and then a more current version. I think it was like 99 or something. And the lead actor from Brink is in this movie, and he's much younger, so it's before Brink. But it's a similar story. Two kids separated at birth who have powers, or who are just separated, and then they kind of reunite, and their powers combine, and then things happen, you know? So like that, to me, it didn't feel like a groundbreaking original story just because I had seen that movie so many times when I was younger. But the journey of this movie is really interesting because having thought, okay, these two, you know, the reporter and Josh O'Connor's character, they're going to unite at some point. So really it's kind of, there's a journey throughout. But it just felt like more of an experience to me versus a movie I'm trying to understand it the whole time, but I also know Steven Spielberg's not going to give me all these answers. You know, it's going to be more kind of open-ended in a sense, right? The ending was really interesting. You know, I love the ending scenes, right? But the last scene where she's like translating for the alien, it just kind of left me like, oh, now I'm very much invested, right? But this movie is called Disclosure Day, so like, I mean, it builds up to that day and no more, right? But like, you leave that theater with a lot of questions.
What do you think the aliens said? Like, what do you think that they disclosed? Like, what do you what did the alien actually say once like the scene cuts to black?
It said, "Listen." Are you talking about? Like,
yeah, but what
that?
do you think? Oh. Yeah, like after.
Listen, y'all got it all wrong. I mean, like that could
like
quit
killing each other type of thing.
I mean, like the aliens throughout this entire movie are the victims in a sense, right?
Right.
I mean, and the humans are the ones that are trying to capitalize on them or take advantage of them or mutilate them or experiment on them, and I mean, and it does shine a different light on human nature, right? Which maybe to understand things, but I think in our culture, human nature is to control things. And I see that from pets to people, and that is, that's, it's so disheartening, right? Because at the end of the day, why are we afraid of things we don't understand? Or why do we have to control things we don't understand? I think that those are the kind of thoughts that run through my head when I watch a movie like this, because it gives you so much more empathy for the other side. And that is what the world was experiencing when they were watching the disclosure footage, is they feel empathy or interest or disgust, but like, it doesn't showcase the amount of like throughout this movie, World War III is supposedly happening or about to happen, right?
Mhm.
But it doesn't feel like, I feel like that was just kind of like a blanket on the background where it's not really affecting so much about what's going on. I mean, there were like people lined up at the gas station and stuff like that, but I feel like it would be more chaotic.
I think that's
if that
why
was
the
happening.
aliens are trying to because that's when the aliens are picking when they want to disclose
Right.
themselves to the world, basically because of the
Mhm.
partnership between him and whatever, and he's making all these things happen. To I assume because of World War III, it's imminent,
Mhm.
whatever. So
I
yeah,
will say this, my problem with the tool isn't necessarily where it came from. That's a small gripe, but another thing I just realized that there's three other things I forgot to mention that the tool does, and this is my problem. The scene where she gets to him in the facility, and she goes to that trailer or whatever he's in, right? Steven Spielberg wrote this super climactic moment. And then he's like, how do I get them out of there? Oh, now the tool makes everybody see their loved ones and just let them
that's
leave.
her. That's her power.
that's
That's
her power.
So
That's
she
not
doesn't
the
use the-
tool?
She
No.
doesn't use the tool to do that.
So-
She doesn't have the tool. The only time she uses the tool is to do the
When she
lights.
turns people invisible?
And when she turns everybody invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trey,
okay.
you mentioned. go
It's
ahead.
when she looks into people's eyes, she can read their minds, and so then she
Okay.
projects that to them.
Yeah. So
Basically,
Trey, you mentioned Josh O'Connor's character's powers coming back to him when he was in college or something like that, right? Now
Mhm.
hers happens at the very beginning of the movie where she's in her kitchen,
right?
and the cardinal,
The cardinal
shitty,
comes in.
the
Oh,
shitty
yeah.
looking cardinal comes in and
Yeah.
stares at her, and then she starts speaking in another language or something.
Because
Russian.
that was an alien
Yeah.
coming and giving it to her, or
Mhm.
whatever.
Just
yeah. Okay. So it's the same kind of thing where he they
He's
planted
just off
something.
screen, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Cool.
Interesting.
Well, yeah, I thought at the very least it's an interesting movie. I don't think it was perfect by any means, and I did think it was about 30 minutes too long. I think
Yeah,
anything that's not a
sure.
major action film should not run past 2 hours, and I will die on that hill.
What about the
Cool.
aliens? Do y'all like how they looked?
I did. I thought they were very cool looking,
Mhm.
just your classic big-eyed aliens.
Yes.
I thought it was nothing will ever beat Arrival, because Arrival was so
Oh, no.
holy fuck.
Oh,
I
nothing
didn't,
will ever
I
beat
didn't see
Arrival.
anything. I didn't see anything looking like that. It was just
Yeah.
a cliche alien to me, but
Yeah.
whatever. Looks good.
I
Yeah.
told Christian as we were walking out, I was like, Steven Spielberg's aliens are so approachable. It feels like you
Mhm.
could just walk up to them. They don't seem threatening, right? And
Yeah,
they're not,
yeah.
right?
Sure.
They're
Right.
E.T. and this and yeah.
Yeah.
Give him a hug.
All right,
well,
so Wheel of Fate and Time. It was Trey's categories, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with which one is this? This is album. So this
that's
is
for you.
This is
Richmond.
my pick. So we have album released in the summer, an album with hot beats, an album with no skips, album with the color green on the cover, and Spinner's choice. I'm assuming the green thing came from Pretty Lights.
No, I was hot and I was walking around outside. Wheel of fate and time, wheel of fate and time, wheel
Green,
of
baby.
fate and time.
Yeah.
Oh no, not another one. Okay. It does have. This is exactly what I was thinking about when I said green on the cover.
It does have green? Okay,
Mhm.
I was going to check too. Okay.
Did you really think that was gonna? Did you think we were gonna fall for that? It's a good bit, but
No. I know.
this one's about Laser Shark. It's because they're breaking up the shark.
Okay.
I'm sad, and it's a fucking disaster. Basically, that's the theme for this one.
I was definitely wondering. It's like, I hope Trey's okay.
In time. Oh, this is the one that I didn't want it to land on. All right, what do we got for breakup rom-com?
Okay. Claps. So, there was a cheer in that one.
Yeah, there's a cheer in that one.
Nice, they're excited. So, all right, well, I want to give y'all an option because there's a movie out in theaters right now, and you wouldn't call it a rom-com, but it does have romantic tendencies. There's comedy in it. It's a horror movie, and there's a breakup, love triangle kind of thing.
Toy Story 5?
No, we did go see that, though. But, like, I'm not making this our movie. I want to ask you guys, Obsession, this movie that's in theaters right now. Yeah?
I want to see it. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm down.
You're down? All right, let's do it. It's fucking great.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, whoops. Go see it in theaters, Blake, if you can, because
I'm going to have to go see it.
Alabama native director, but, like, it's a movie experience, and people are going back to rewatch it, so it's worth doing in theaters. All right.
Word. All right. There you go. You should go see Disclosure Day.
Yeah.
All right. Peace.
Peace.